Eberhard, Wedekind, thank you to be with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So you are the new chairman of Dascoin, a cryptocurrency. The currency of trust is the main way Dascoin wants to be new. You came from automotive, Volvo, and the group, the Volvo group, Volvo CE. How do you come from this kind of industrial company and to the crypto world?
So I have two sides of it. I've been always interested in computers, coding, programming, and actually my major from university is computer science and even a database. So I've always been interested. Then obviously my interest switched to leadership and management. I've been in management consulting and in two leading companies, the Linde Group, which is #1 in industrial gas, and the Volvo Group. Now, this is a bit the background, but then, running over, I mean, Volvo, the part where I'm from is actually 180 years old, Linde almost 140, and these companies have been sustainable through innovation and being able to, managing innovation and constant, renewing the portfolio. Another characteristic of both companies, Linde and Volvo, was the leadership. Always had very strong leadership. Carl Linde even was a Nobel Prize laureate because he did so many inventions around, refrigeration, air and gas, and so it's the innovation, the leadership, and then governance is something I was always interested in. And then of course you learn organization. So from this broad experience, I'm bringing this broad experience to a new company, fairly new. I wouldn't call it startup, but scale up. New technology. For me, all this blockchain and crypto is a bit like the next internet of trust versus the internet we know is the internet of information. So that's my interest in technology and applying what I learned so far.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a new world and a new technology, but maybe there are common, not for instance issue, but common subject for automotive than for crypto, and the main subject is security. Yeah. In crypto, there is a lot of question about crypto, if they are secure, if sometimes you can have people thinking it's not real. So I don't understand this word. How security will maybe come at the high level for this kind of new world?
Yeah, I mean, from a technology point of view, as you know, Didier, in the center of it is the blockchain. The blockchain technology is, for me, a database which is decentralized, sitting on many 100,000 of different sites and on different computers. And the security comes from the fact that not one single site can be attacked, that you have, so to say, 100,000 of notaries who, whenever there's a change in the blockchain, they have a copy, so can validate. And I don't want to go into the details. So the blockchain, all the processes around it have a high degree of integrity. The technology itself is, so to say, leveraging on last 20 years of enormous development into cryptography and so on. So the blockchain, I would say, has a pretty high degree of security. Of course, you always have then, the peripheral system where the bigger risk is sitting. Almost when you, let's say you have your health reports or whatever on the blockchain, or and then you load it into a simple PC, spreadsheet. I mean, that's more the risk, so that's a bit what I would like to say. Coming with Dascoin has the very safe, very modern blockchain. And is actually using for additional hardware validator to also increase, and there's nobody else doing this. So Dascoin has a hardware validator to ensure the security.
So, as I said, you came from a big company. How do you think a big company are looking for the blockchain ecosystem, or how they are feeling about it? Because, as you said at the beginning, maybe it was like a jungle, and a big company didn't like a jungle. Now there are some actor, maybe you are one, and some actor will try to develop this blockchain. And how the big group is looking this kind of new ecosystem?
I can maybe, Didier, start mentioning a study from September 2018, so last month, which was conducted, at least published by the World Economic Forum. And there it was said that 84% of the survey C-level executives are dealing in the one or the other way with blockchain. So I think all the big companies recognize that they have to, understand blockchain and pilot blockchain. From these 85%, which is high, maybe you can knock off 10, 15 of those companies who maybe use blockchain as a little bit of PR, but it shows the relevance. I mean, just to give you an example, also more, important organization and funds are investing into blockchain technology, or even exchanges of digital currency. Temasek is the big Singapore fund, and I know a little bit. I lived 6 years in Singapore. They just announced yesterday that with one of their venture capital arms, they invest in a digital exchange. So I know big airlines. I happen to know from Lufthansa, they're having in Switzerland a partner who is also a digital coin. So everybody is working with that and experience it. What can it mean? I mean, Walmart sees a huge opportunity, and they're quite advanced in looking through the entire supply chain of food. Think of a papaya coming from Indonesia all the way from the exporter, the shipping, importer, and then landing on the market in Paris. So in these first projects, I think you can see the entire chain, the blockchain unite, so to say, the consumer in the end, the worker on the farm, and everybody in between, even the regulators or NGOs. So I see many different opportunities, and as I said, bigger and bigger companies are interested in this topic.
As we talk about security, other subject very important for state and for regulator is the money laundering. So how the Dascoin is working to avoid this kind of things? And we all know that the state are very cautious about it.
Yeah. The main thing is that everybody who is part of our community and has a web wallet where you can load Dascoin has to go through a KYC process, know your customer. So nobody in the community is unknown, different from other examples, and I don't want to go into those. So I think that's the best way to protect us from having to deal with these issues. I mean, the other topic I can rise to answer your question is that around the world we work with regulators and they ask these questions, and even we have an exchange of know-how. Our blockchain specialist with regulators. What can you do in general against these kind of crimes? No? But KYC, know your customer, and that's our mantra.
As I follow the market since a long time, maybe 89 in the 20th century, I have a look on the crypto graphics, and what we have seen a peak, a very nice performance, and a crash. And how you can be confident on this kind of new ecosystem, as you mentioned, if you see this kind of volatility and in few months, in 1 year, a peak and down 7 or 80 or 90% for some of them.
Yeah. A couple of parts to my answer. First of all, I think the way we see ourselves in Dascoin is not being a currency for short-term speculation. So we are in our community, there are members that look more into mid and long-term opportunity, also see how the Dascoins can work and sweat. So there's vehicles in our ecosystem to invest the digital money into startups and scale-ups. So that's number one. Number two is, sure, it's a relatively young industry. This hype end of last year was really enormous. And when a consumer or somebody interested to put their money into digital art, they say, get third-party advice, inform yourself. I think this is very important. It is like many of the tech, so to say, shares also, the public company, there is a certain amount of volatility before things get stable. So I'm a strong believer in the future of blockchain and digital currency, but everybody who is interested to put his money into this industry or era should do it in a very, very informed way and get third-party advice.
Last question about your strategy for Dascoin. How will you develop Dascoin, and what you want to do in this company?
Yeah, we want to be the #1 mainstream currency of trust. Mainstream means not just for speculation, but for high utility. So we're having an ecosystem of different companies that are contributing to and supporting the vision of Dascoin, and we see utility coming from a lot of products we put on this ecosystem or platform, payment system, investments, possibility, building something, prosperity for everybody is for as many people as possible is part of our vision. We have a foundation set up for helping people that have no access to the financial world, to help these people to participate in the finance world. So there is a number of areas which we working on.
Thank you very much, Eberhard. Really kind to have been with us today.
Very welcome, Didier. Thank you.